Shalom, everyone. I pray that everyone is doing good. I am back with another video that I said I would be more consistent about in making, because I know that there are people out there like me who have dealt with childhood traumas and whatnots and all this other stuff that goes on in the church. But I am glad to be here because I know that my purpose is going to serve a bigger purpose at the end of the day. And, you know, we don't go through things in our life just to go through and sit on and not share with others in order to help them. There is a reason why we go through the things that we go through. And one of my reasons is simply because the Most High knows that I am going to stand flat foot and tell it. I'm going to tell the truth. I am going to expose the church and those that are in there, because my life as a child in the church was cruel, right? And I'm speaking for those who are afraid to speak, who think that if they speak against the pastor or the first lady or the ministers or the preacher's kids, that their life is somehow going to be destroyed. It's not that at all. It is quite the opposite. The Most High wants us to speak to these things, to these wicked individuals that stand in the pulpit, and preach, save, pay your tithes, but they're living so devilish, so hellish, so evil themselves. And it has to be exposed. And the Most High chooses the ones that He knows is going to stand up and talk about it, because it's ridiculous. The truth has to be told. So this is literally my platform in doing so, and I take pride in it. It is not me, it is the Most High that is moving in me to do these things, because again, He knows that I'm going to do it. And also, He has favored me to write my first memoir. It is called She Had No One. And this is the life of this little girl. Isn't she beautiful? The life of this little girl who grew up in church and was around saved folks who lied and laughed and tormented her. No one protected her. No one loved on her. No one saw about her. No one understood her or took the time to understand her. So being that it's this thick, you have to understand that there is a lot in here that I needed to tell. I needed to express. And there are names in here that I don't mind calling. I don't have a problem with it. And when you read it, you'll know exactly who those individuals are that caused so much pain and hurt and crushing, of the spirit against this little girl. No one, especially a child in the church where people claim to be the safest place you could be, should ever have to deal with this type of cruelty, this type of wickedness, this type of evil, the torment. No child should ever, no person, period, should ever have to go through torture like that at a place where it is supposed to be safe. And that is unfortunately not what the church is. It's not. Like I said before, the church has the biggest devils in it. So there is no distinction between the world and the church, because the church is the world. It's just dressed up in high heels and suits and hats and purses and robes, and it's just all dressed up. But it's no different. The devil has his way in those four walls all of the time. I've seen it, I've experienced it. It's not the life for someone. So when I was writing this book, you can only imagine the emotions that goes through a person when they're trying to tap into their healing process. For me, I did not know who I was. And I took on all of the names that everyone, or Emma took on all of the names that everyone had put on her. You know, little bad girl, fast girl, big mouth, attitude, ugly, dirty looking, raggedy, poor. I took on all those names and so much more from the people in the church that is supposed to love you, right? And I strapped those on for 42 years, almost 42 years. And I'm going to say less than 42 years, because at some point in my life, I started to change up in here. But however, for majority of Emma's life, she took on those names as if that was her, as if that's who she was, but it wasn't. And so imagine having to go back into your life, a life that in today's time someone would unalive themselves, because the cruelty would just be simply too much, from the church, from school, from elementary, junior high, even in high school, even in college. Just imagine having to deal with that, and most of your life is literally inside of the church. So that's all you know. And so the people there, it's like, who is really carrying the true love of our Creator, Yah? Like, who is carrying the true love of the Most High? You know, I grew up listening to people quote scriptures and these little sayings and just hyping up the crowd. But at the end of the service, we going to get some drinks. At the end of the service, I'm going over my man's house. At the end of the service, it's chaos from the leader, Leon, and his wife. Like, how does bitter and sweet coincide? It doesn't. I'm not even gonna sit back and wait on you to answer that, but it does not mix. Bitter and sweet does not mix. And when I say that my upbringing in the church was bitter, I mean bitter. It's a journey. It has really been a journey to heal from all of the toxicities that I grew up in, that I grew up around, the environment, the chaos. It is a journey. You literally have to self-check every day, because your thoughts can sometimes take over, and you can find yourself getting upset or feeling some type of way, or something is pricking you on the side. But when your focus has changed on making sure that your mental, your spiritual, your walk with the Most High is it's important. It is very important. And when you get to that peace that surpasses all understanding, you can look at things and dissect things and understand this is why this has always been, right? So when I finished writing the book, and it took me about a year and a half, maybe, I'm gonna say about a year and a half, because there were stopping points, but for the most part, excuse me, I was just going, because once those memories start coming back into your mind, you cannot not stop it. Like, you can't stop it. It's just going to keep going. And I remember when I finished, I was talking to a really, really good friend of mine, and she asked me, she said, so have you, excuse me, have you had any backlash about your book. And I said, well, I hadn't had any backlash, but I did get a couple of messages. And I explained to her, I said, I am at a point in my life where I don't care about people's feelings. Excuse me. I don't care about what people think. I don't care about what they're going to say. I don't care about any type of backlash, because it is names in this book that has to be named so that they can be exposed for the individuals they are. For 42 years, I was worried about what people would think, what they would say. Let me not say 42 years, because there was a point where I was just like, but I would say majority of my life, there was a point where I was worried about what people would say and what they thought and how they thought and how they, how they would react. But I told them, that's not my concern. That's not my concern. It is not my concern about their feelings. Their feelings are their feelings, and their emotions are their emotions, and that's just that. It's theirs. And the only reason why they have those feelings or have those emotions is simply because they know how crummy of a person that they have always been to this little girl. They know it. They know it. So I told her, listen, I know it's going to come, be it now or later, but it's not my problem. So when after I said that, my care literally was 0.0000000%. And so I'm going to promote my book not as a money gain, and that's absolutely not what it is. But people have to understand, they have to start speaking about the things that they go through as a child to free themselves. These things, torture of a child, it follows them for their entire life if they are not in a space to confront or heal from the traumas and the toxicities that has been generation to generation to generation. And this book is simply to help you find a way to talk about your abuse of any kind from anyone, especially in the church. We look at church like, I gotta go. If I don't go, I'm gonna go to hell. No, but they teach you that. They plant that in your head. If you don't go to church, you're gonna go to hell. Those are scare tactics. And so we keep going to this place and we keep enduring all of this pain, and we keep suffering the same ridicule, the humiliation, the embarrassment from these leaders and from these first ladies and from their children, because they think they can do anything they want to do. We take it as if we're supposed to be taking it. One of the things that I hated, or Emma hated, and I say again, I'm gonna go back and forth, because the me now, I have to feel all of what this girl has gone through, because I don't hate anybody. I love everybody. I have been redeemed, and that's just what it is. But Emma hated every time Leon or Charlotte or Christian, Krishanda, and Cherie, or whoever decided they wanted to just lie on Emma and say Emma did this, or Emma rolled her eyes, or Emma, whoever wanted to conjure up something and feel like they wanted to see Emma get beat on this particular day. My mother would literally make me stand there stand there while whoever felt like they wanted to yell in my face, spit in my face, talk to me crazy. She would make me stand there and take that. Imagine being a little girl having to stand there and an adult is so close to your face, Charlotte Parker, and talking to you crazy and spit in your eye. Imagine your mother making you do that. Imagine having to do that. Imagine every time you go to the church, it's always something. Imagine that. And then if you attempt to say something, you'll get a whooping or you'll get slapped. Leon was notorious for slapping Emma. He was notorious for slapping this girl. I mean, he was notorious. It's like he loved doing that. He loved slapping on her. And it's like people loved to watch Emma get slapped or Emma get embarrassed. In the church, you better run. But I wanted to bring out a scripture because Emma cried nonstop her entire life, even when she was of age and had children of her own and got married and then divorced and all that other stuff. Emma cried because there was something in her that just did not understand. Why did they do me like this? And why are they doing me like this? Why do they always do me like this? Why? From a little girl on up, Emma did not understand why they did this. So Emma cried. Emma would cry all the time. And a lot of the times, it's always when she's by herself in her room or whatever's going on. She cried a lot in front of people, don't get me wrong. But when I say these things travel with you in your older age, we cry. Ladies, we cry when no one is around. And what I'm trying to help us to understand and help you to understand that you don't have to cry by yourself. You don't have to suck up your tears. You don't have to hold back your words because we don't have to allow people to do these things to us, especially in the church. Where's the love? Where's the understanding? Where is the patience? Where is the creator in all of this? Everybody talk about God this and God that and God this and God. I don't want your God. Your God is no good. And we don't even understand who we calling on when we say G-O-D. We don't even understand who we're calling on when we say L-O-R-D, but that's a different topic. But I wanted to read something. It is Psalm, the book of Psalm, Tehillim in Hebrew is what it's called. 33 verse, I'm wrong. 34, chapter 34, verse 18. Let me bring my book. It says, Yahweh is near to those who have a broken heart and saves those who have a crushed spirit, those who turn their face toward him. The Most High has watched since Emma was a baby, our true creator, Yah. He's watched everything that has happened to this girl. He watched it and he documented. He saw how people did her. He saw the torment that people put her through. He saw it. He wrote it down. And everybody that's in this book, he has your name, and so do I. When the Most High says, vengeance is mine, I will repay, you can find rest in that. When you get to a place of healing, you can find rest in every word that he says. Be not deceived, for Yah is not mocked. For whatever a man soweth, that shall he also reap. But when you grow up, you hear people quoting these scriptures. You hear these saved folk quoting these scriptures. And I don't think they really understand what they're saying. They can't understand what they're saying because his word is truth. And if we understood that his word is truth, we would not be acting the way that we would act in these churches. But like I said, the church is not of the Most High. The church is man-made. It is a show. But we're not going to believe that because we want to feel good all the time. But whatever. We don't understand how we break people with our words. And that's something Emma had to learn as she got older. Your words hurt. Words hurt. When the first lady tells you you'll never be nothing, and you're 11 years old trying to get some water because you're thirsty, and one of your little witchlings came and lied and said that Emma said my dress was too big. And you tell this little girl she just jealous. You just jealous because you don't have what they have. And you think about that. How? How do you go to a child and cut them to the core like that? Like how? And then you're saved? No. You have the Most High mistaken. You don't know who he is. You don't possess his characteristics. You don't possess his love that he has on the inside of himself for us. Sometimes when I think about these things over and over and over and over and over again, and I think about the things that this girl has gone through, it baffles me. It blows my mind. It's like it's an old thought, but when you think about it again, it's new. It hits you differently. The manipulation, it hits you differently because you can clearly see the scare tactics. You can see how the devil was operating in those people. You can see it. It's clear. There is no way I could have ever went to a child and said, you just jealous. Your shoes ugly. You just, you look at your hair. There's no way. There's no way that I could ever go to a child and pounce on her like a lion's prey. There is just no way. And it is a lot of us women, and I'm going to keep saying it, it is a lot of us women that grew up in these apostolic Pentecostal churches who has dealt with so much cruelty and pain and embarrassment and don't know what to do, still holding on to it, still trapped, still stuck in bondage. And we're going to forever be that way unless you decide that you want to heal and move forward. That's what this is about. It's about healing. It's about confronting the past, dealing with it, moving that carpet back, opening up that closet door and pulling out those skeletons, exposing the people for who they are and who they have always been. But we're so scared because they told me if I do this, I'm gonna go to hell. Like if I say something, there is no guilt that we should have. Only when it comes to, are we really living righteously? That's the only guilt we should have. Man has implanted so many nasty things in our mind. We think that they're the GODs. We think that they're the ones that created this earth, created the birds and the bees and the flowers. And we think when they are flesh just like you and me, when they are bound just like you and me, when they can bleed out just like you and me. So the only time we should feel guilty about anything is when we're questioning, am I really living the way that the Most High, our Creator, Yahuwah, wants us to live? Take those shackles off. Take those shackles off and confront these situations. Well, I'm 45 and I'm 50 and I'm 55, 60 and I'm too old. I ain't got time for that. Yes, you do. Yes, you do. Yes, you do. You have time. As long as there is breath in your body, as long as you have activities of your limbs, you have time. You have time to soul search. You have time to heal. You have time to confront. You have time to deal with everything that you've dealt with from a child on up to your age. And there is nothing wrong with confronting the evil, deceitful ones that did it to you. This is the problem that the church has. The church, somebody, whoever, whatever, pastor on down from the pulpit to the door, they can do you all types of ways. They can do you all types of ways, flip you upside down, to the left, to the right, under, over. They can do all they want to do with you, but as soon as you try to correct them or put them in their place or confront them or expose them, that pride kicks in and they will not apologize because they really don't see that they've done anything wrong. And they will try to make you feel like, you can't talk to me like that. I'm the man of God. No, you're not. No, you are not. You are not. You are just as wicked. You're just as wicked as the ones that created this Pentecostal title. You are wicked in all of your ways. Wicked. And I'm not afraid to say that you are wicked, Mr. Lawyer, Mr. Preacher, Pastor, Mr. Weed Dispensary in Oklahoma. I'm not afraid to call you out, Philip. I'm not afraid to call you out, Leon. I'm not afraid to call you out, Charlotte. I'm not afraid to call my own mother out. I'm not. I stand firm in the Creator because He's given me life And we have to expose these things that go on in these churches. And I am a firm believer that the Most High sent me through these things. He put me through these things as a child to teach me, one, to love and forgive and have compassion for those who think they know and don't know. And to tell it and stand firm in the truth, his truth, not man's truth, his truth. I've been lied to. Emma been lied to her entire life. Emma has been trampled on her entire life. She has been taken for granted her entire life. And now that I have come into this truth, true salvation, you think I'm going to allow mere men to scare me? It doesn't work that way. And I can say all that I can say and stand firm in what I said with so much love. Because I understand at the end of the day, everybody that is dishing out dirt to people are just broken themselves. Everybody is broken. Everybody is lost. Everybody is confused. Everybody is repeating what Granny said, what great Granny said, what great great Granny said, and nobody is searching out the truth. How do we know what they said is true? I can tell you that it's not. I can tell you that it's not. Church people have the most wicked tongue. I remember years ago, I was a little girl, and they have this thing called the council. Council. I think it was the council. It wasn't a convention. It was a council. And so as a child, when church is over, you're outside playing with the other children, right? You're outside playing around. And this is how people would lie on Emma. You're outside playing with the other children, right? You're running around in the steps. It has like a flat, and I remember it because it's right here. It's right here. It has a flat area where you walk to the doors. And I think we were in Longview. And so Emma's running around and she's playing. And there was this lady standing at the door. And I remember her name. Her name's Lady Usher. I'll remember it. I'll never forget it. She says, "Little girl, what is your name?" "Me? What is your name?" I said, "It's Emma." She says, "Who is your mother?" I said, "Cheryl Hawthorne." "Okay." She goes, I go back to playing. Emma goes back to playing. She's a child. She goes to my mother and tells my mother that Emma got smart with her. So now Emma's in trouble for something that she didn't even. That's how wicked of a tongue church people have. Why? Leon used to lie every chance he got. People just lied on Emma. Just lied on Emma for no apparent reason. If you go to them right now and ask them why they did what they did, they wouldn't have an answer. But it was simply because they felt like it. It has to be. Had to be. I just feel like it. I don't like you. Emma can walk in and somebody already has a problem. Emma can walk in and it'd be a group of girls. It'll be the witchlings and maybe a couple of other girls and a couple of other new girls. And everybody would just look at Emma and just laugh. They would just look at Emma and just laugh. Every time Emma walked in that church, no matter if it was the warehouse, no matter if it was the pizza joint, no matter if it was Gib Williams. Oh, and Emma hated Gib Williams. Blue Ridge. It was torture for her. It was torture for her. I want to read another scripture. It is coming from, let me do that, the word of Yah, the King's Covenant. My grandmother would just be so proud of me. Read your Bible. Stay prayerful. Yes, Granny. I got you. But I wanted to read James. In your HB, it says James, but in my King's Covenant is Yaakov. I wanted to read chapter 3, verses 5, 6, 8, and 10. Bear with me. I'm going somewhere. And it says, so the tongue is also a little member, but it does great things. See how a small fire can spread to a large forest. And the tongue is like such a fire. The beginning of sin among our members is the tongue, which defiles the whole body and sets on fire all our wordless passions, which lead us to the destroying fires of Gehenna. That's hell. But nobody has been able to fully tame the tongue. It is a restless evil, full of deadly poison. With it, we honor Almighty loving Yah of all creation and our Father, while with it we curse also men who are made in the image of El Yah of all creation. Out of the same mouth comes forth favor and cursings. My brothers, these things ought not be so. So how can you preach an entire sermon about nothing? Let's just keep it a buck. About nothing. But the people are so lost in sleep. But see, here's the thing. I was there too. So let's keep it all the way real. I was at one point in the same boat. I was in the same puss cup as all the sheeple. So I'm just going to be honest. I was. But you spend an hour and some change preaching about absolutely nothing. And then you can turn around and yell at somebody. You can turn around and lie on somebody. You can turn around and disrespect somebody. You can turn around and cause havoc for no reason with this little meat in your mouth. And it's so funny because my Uncle David used to tell Emma, that little meat in your mouth is going to get you in trouble. I did not understand that, but I understand it now. I understand it more so now because you have to think about everything that Emma had gone through. You have to think about everything that this girl has gone through and how many times she was told to shut up and she was never able to defend herself and she was never able to take up for herself because no one around was going to do it. And you have to imagine the creation of a mouth that was created for her to defend herself as she got older. Because when you get older, people can't really put their hands on you like they used to. So when you get older, you start talking and your mouth gets real fly and floppy, and because now you're in defense mode. Now you are using that as your defense mechanism. That's why you look at so many women and you can't tell me, I'm grown, I'm gonna do what I want to do. That's why we do that. Because we have so much pent up anger and so much pent up frustration on the inside of us that we weren't able to express or able to get out or able to speak on when we were younger because we were forced to take master's beatings and suck it up. We were forced to. That's why us, the Hebrew women, the daughters of Zion, are mouthy. At heart, Emma was not mouthy. She was not mean. She just wanted to be loved and just wanted to love and just did not understand why people around her, especially in the church, are so cruel to her. She couldn't understand it. She could not understand it. It was impossible for her to understand. But then she's looking up to everybody as if they know, as if they're really saved, as if they're really, and they're not. They are not. They are not. But we're so fearful to confront these wicked people. We gotta stop that. We have to stop that. The Most High wants us to stop that. Because this thing is perpetual. This is perpetual. This thing, it just keeps going and it just keeps going and it just keeps going and it just keeps going. Well, one of my purposes, and like I stated before in the beginning, is that my purpose is to debunk this nonsense. All of it is to debunk this nonsense. I have to debunk it. I want to read Job 17:8, because I really feel like this needs to be said. And yes, I got my cards because it's certain scriptures that I want to tap on because of what I am discussing today in this video. We're talking about the tongue, right? We're talking about confronting. We're talking about putting things on the table. We're talking about opening that closet door and pulling all of those skeletons out of the ones that feel like they don't have them. Everybody has skeletons. And then when you start to reveal the skeletons, they want to claim defamation. Stop that. Job 17:8 says, upright men shall be astonished at this, and the innocent shall stir up himself against the hypocrite. So I have to. It's my job. I have to do this. And there was a quote that I saw, and it set with me very well. And it goes in alignment with what I just read to you. It says, bold sinners must have bold reprovers. Evil beasts must be rebuked continually, must be saved by fear. I have to confront each and every one of you that caused harm to this girl. And I have to put you in your place because it is a requirement of me. It is part of my calling. Because looking back on this life, it was nasty. It was ugly. It was gross. And I have to do it with love. But I'm gonna do it. I'm not changing. I'm not changing anything. Why? It's the truth. It's her truth. It's her truth. It's what she went through. And it is what, excuse me, a lot of us women are going through, are still going through. It is mothers out there that do not like their daughters because of a light that is in them that they wish they had. We have to talk about these things. And there was a light. And there is still a light in this girl that no one, and I mean no one, could ever have dimmed or put out. They tried really hard. They tried really hard. This girl, she didn't have nobody. No one was there for her. When you really think about it, when the rubber hits the road, who does she have? Who does she have? And all of that created a monster in her. It created a very ugly person. Now, here's the thing. Like I said before, she didn't just do people any type of way. Because at the end of the day, Emma has always been kind. Emma has always had compassion. Emma literally just loved. She wanted everybody to love and be happy and smile. You can count on Emma. You can count on Emma. Hey, Emma, I need. Got you. Hey, Emma, can you? Got you. Hey, Emma. Yes. Emma has always been that person. And when you are naturally pure at heart and people see that, they will try to corrupt you and they will take advantage of you and use you to the best of their ability. However long you decide to allow them to. But then when you get some sense and be like, I'm not doing this anymore, they will turn on you. They will turn on you. Just like that. That's when you know that you've never really had anyone in your corner. That's when you know you've never really had any supporters from the ones that you would think should support you. That's when you realize that everyone around you is evil and dirty and saving face and pretending to be something that they are not. Pretending to have it all together, but you're just as lost and hurt and dark and broken just like everybody else. And when we get to a space of where we want to figure out, why do I keep crying at night? Why do I keep feeling like I hate my husband? Why do I feel like I don't want to be bothered with my kids? Why do I feel like I want to do this, but I just don't have the esteem to do it? Why am I shameful? Why? When we start to ask those whys, things really start to change. Things really begin to change. When I started to ask why, things in my life began to change. And they changed for the better. There's a song that my granny used to sing. You've got to walk that lonesome valley. You got to walk that lonesome valley. And you have to walk it for yourself. For there is no one to walk it for you. You have to walk it for yourself. And that's what I'm doing. I don't care who doesn't like it. It's not my problem. I don't care who has anything to say. I don't have to hear it. I don't care how you feel. Those are your feelings. The Most High has set me free. And I am free. Oh, I am free. I'm at peace. And I hear people, the peace that passes all understanding, the peace that surpasses all understanding. Do you really know what that means? Do you really know what that means? I bet you don't. Because if you can walk around in chaos, if you can cause discourse at any given turn, if you can sit on the phone and talk about Sister Bradley, if you can look at somebody and really just have disdain in your heart for them, if you look at somebody and like, she thinks she's cute because she got them shoes on. If you can do that, you're not there. If you're selfish, you're not there. If you think that what you're doing in the dark will not come to light, you are highly, highly fooled. You are delusional, you are mistaken, and you need to come out. The Most High said, come out of her, my people. But you gotta want to come out. You have to want to come out at some point. I did. I wanted to get out and find out, what is this mess that I am in? What is this mess that I have always been in? And when I started to ask the right questions, the Most High started to reveal things to me. He started to reveal some heavy things to me. Heavy. And I mean heavy. But when you learn those heavy things, when those heavy things are revealed to you, there is a peace that comes over you because you finally know what to do and how to do it and who to go to do it. Not man, not the preacher, not the bishop, not the diocesan, not your grandmama, not your mama, or whoever else that says they got it and don't have it. You know who exactly to go to. You know who you need to go to. And he will give you such a peace behind everything that you are doing. As long as your heart is pure when you're doing it, you have to have a pure heart. The Most High does not reside in filth. He is a pure Father. He is a righteous Creator. He is a just Father. When you do things with purity at heart, you can always, always win. It gets tough. It gets lonely. It gets, I can't say it gets boring because it doesn't, because it keeps me in my word. It keeps me on my knees. It keeps me doing all the things that my grandmother said to do. But it gives you room to do these things, to really get in tune and really understand who you are and whose you are. And it gives you a clear understanding as to everything that you've gone through. It serves a purpose. There's a reason behind. She had no one. This is to help you. Help you. How was she able to tell all of that? Because I separated myself from the noise and I said, Father, show me who I am, because I want to know who I am. And when I asked that, that's when things in my life started to change. That was the yes that I gave the Most High Yah to take over my soul, because it is my soul that belongs to him, that's when things started to change in my life. I am going to end this video now. And again, I thank you. Hit the like button. Comment if you will, if this is helping you. And if you're not ready to comment, that's okay too. And click the link to read about how you can come out of your bondage and begin to tell your story of healing. Until next time, be favored.